relates to the defence attaches that are present in Ireland. Obviously, I'm wondering how many are there? What's the nature of our relationship with them, and what is their role, given that they are representatives of foreign armies in Ireland, and how do we basically deal with them?
Yeah, there are 38 defence attaches accredited to Ireland, but there are only 2 defence attaches actually located in Ireland. One is from the Russian Federation, and the other is from the United States, ironically given the debate we've just had. The remaining 36 are located in the UK. There's ongoing contact between the Defence Forces and the Defence Attaches in relation to a range of issues, including military events, functions, visits, and training courses. Defence Forces contact with the Defence Attaches depends on the topics of interest, and it therefore varies. In addition, the Defence Forces conduct collective briefing. In addition, the Defence Forces conduct collective briefings to defence attaches. This is an efficient use of resources and ensures that Defence Forces deliver a consistent message. In recent years, briefing covered topics such as the White Paper on Defence, overseas operations, and the work of the Department in relation to international security and defence policy, but in particular around peacekeeping and the missions that we're operating in.
Thanks, Minister. It's an interesting answer. I was aware that there was a US and a Russian attaché. I wasn't aware of whether there were others, but I'm wondering about maybe the consistency or lack of it in terms of the contact with both of those. I know the American attaché, for instance, has said that he is in daily contact with the Defence Forces on a very regular role. He sees himself as being the person who can advise the US government on how to talk to the Irish government on defence issues and mutual security. I was a little bit concerned when he talked about peacekeeping missions in Afghanistan, working with the Americans there, given that there hasn't really been much peace in Afghanistan since those days. And I'm wondering, given that we aren't supposed to be taking sides or giving favours, is there daily contact with the Russian attaché? What is the nature of the involvement with them? And maybe would you comment on the words of the US attaché, who said that Shannon is not only an important link between Ireland and the US, it is in fact plays an important role in keeping the world safe and secure, and it's a vital connection between Ireland and worldwide security.
Deputy, on the one hand you say that we shouldn't be taking sides, and then in another question you ask us to impose embargoes. Of course we have to take sides at different times on different issues, in different conflicts. That's what being neutral is all about. The ability to take sides without being tied down to military alliances. We work with the United States on all sorts of levels, politically, and in some cases, although not very often, on peacekeeping or peace enforcement missions. And I use the example of Afghanistan because that's what's called a resolute support mission now, which is primarily a training-focused mission. But in relation to our activities in the UN, for example, where Ireland and both Minister Flanagan and myself have both committed Ireland to more peacekeeping training, particularly for African countries that may want to partner with Ireland in terms of training peacekeepers and so on. That was initially an initiative by the US through the UN to try and encourage countries to do more of that type of training, to build partnerships with the African Union and so on. So there are lots of examples of practical things that we're trying to do that are good things, that are about talking about ways in which we can improve peace management, if you like, in different parts of the world, which is difficult and very challenging at the moment. They are the kind of things that we sometimes discuss, and there needs to be military-to-military discussion as well in terms of practicalities of how that will actually work.
Thank you.
And they're the kind of discussions that go on between attaches. But there have been discussions as well with our Russian attaché. But it doesn't surprise me that there will be more conversations with the US representative.
That completes questions for today. I'm sorry, we're over time.
If you could get me that information about the level of contact with the Russian attaché, I'd be very grateful for comparative purposes.
Thank you.
Like I say, it wouldn't surprise me if there was more contact with the US side. But I can
wouldn't surprise me either, but I'd like to know.
Sorry, thank you. We now move on to the